I'm Alan Spears with Occupy Democrats, and sometimes when you report the news, you just have to get right into it and tell it how it is. And that is exactly what the governor of Illinois, aka J.B. Pritzker, did to Donald Trump in a recent event where he brutally tore him apart. In a clip I'm about to show you, you will see for yourself how Pritzker absolutely calls out Donald Trump on the various crimes and frankly atrocities that this man has committed. Now, if you're familiar with the channel, you are probably aware that we here at Occupy Democrats don't typically care for Donald Trump and tend to disagree with a lot of the things he says. But one of the things I absolutely want to hammer home to you folks is that we don't just disagree with Donald Trump's political stances or his policies, the few that he seems to actually have. We despise Donald Trump for the man he is and for the crimes he has committed. Because let's be very clear, Donald Trump has been problematic for a long time, well before he descended those shitty escalators to announce his run for president. He's a man that has caused chaos and destruction throughout his entire life, and thrives in it, it would seem. As long as he can make money, as long as his ego can get stroked, this is a man that will absolutely say and do anything. And for the longest time, the Republicans have been the ones that have taken the low road, that have absolutely not been afraid to instill policies that are destructive, if not outright deadly, to a lot of different people in this country. Well, there seems to be this narrative or this idea that the Republicans are the big tough guy, whereas the Democrats are the more amicable ones, the ones that want to talk problems out and actually come up with a solution rather than beat their chest and, wave their guns around. Maybe it's time we take a page out of Pritzker's book and be a little more like him. As you're about to see, Pritzker absolutely lays into Donald Trump and destroys him, knocking him down more than a few pegs. Perhaps it's time that us Democrats and us liberals and everyone here on the left, maybe it's time we stop being so amicable and so nice to those that have seemingly relentlessly attacked us. Take a look for yourself and see what Pritzker had to say about Donald Trump and called it like it is. Donald Trump is a criminal and a delinquent, and we can all do better. See for yourself.
Donald Trump is a convicted felon, an adjudicated rapist, and a congenital liar. He's a racist, sexist, misogynistic narcissist who wants to use the levers of power to enrich himself and punish anyone who dares speak a word against him. He has stolen state secrets, compromised our national security, betrayed our Constitution, and sacrificed the truth to further his own naked ambition. When Trump comes to Milwaukee for the Republican convention, he'll cast blame on others for his own misdeeds. He'll claim credit for things that he never touched. He'll lie and he'll ramble.
I wasn't too familiar with Pritzker prior to today, but now, I gotta say, I'm a fan. He really couldn't have said it any better. Donald Trump is a liar. He is a narcissist. He is accused of so many different things, and he is dead on. Trump is absolutely a compulsive liar and narcissist and will never take accountability for the various things he's said and the damage he's inflicted. He's a man driven purely by his own ego, and we all know this. Well, all of us that aren't in the MAGA movement. Pritzker is absolutely dead on when he says Trump will go to Milwaukee and cast blame on others for his own failures and for his own misdeeds. This man lacks the ability to admit to any sort of wrongdoing, and it is terrifying that he has gotten as far as he has, that he has had as much power as he has, and the followers he's cultivated hang on every word he speaks. I'm genuinely confused and don't understand how Donald Trump's base can see him as anything other than a criminal and a liar. Trump has proven that he is completely unwilling to make any semblance of personal sacrifice in service for this country or in service to really the betterment of all of us. As long as he can get what he wants, that's all that matters, and he has proven this with both his actions and his words time and time again. We have so much proof in video, in written accounts, in personal accounts and experiences with Donald Trump stating that he is a narcissist and he is a vengeful, evil man. Pritzker is absolutely dead on. If you say the slightest negative thing about Donald Trump, you might as well be his sworn enemy. He cannot handle criticism and he will not admit to any wrongdoing despite being given the proof. Pritzker is absolutely right. Trump is an evil, vengeful person, and if he gets into the White House again, God forbid, we're in trouble. Donald Trump has already admitted that he's going to act as an authoritarian, as a dictator. And he's also wanting presidential immunity, which would open up a whole slew of new powers that basically let him get away with assassinating his political rivals. That is why it is so unbelievably important for you to vote this November. This is not just the Republicans versus the Democrats. This is democracy and freedom versus a dictatorship with a tiny little man as the leader. This election will decide whether or not we are going to continue to have a democracy and the freedom and equality that we all long and strive for, or are we going to cast those aside and become this authoritarian regime, the very nation and the very ideals that we have spent countless years fighting against? Trump and the rest of the MAGA movement do not have this country's best interest in mind. They are not patriots. Just because these people wear the American flag as a cape or put it on every piece of clothing they wear, or just because these people chant freedom or USA, does not make them patriotic or right. Make no mistake. The MAGA movement is the antithesis of everything that this country was established upon, and this movement needs to be ended.